Hello and welcome to G-Lens. In a surprise political move, Abdullahi Ganduje, National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, has resigned from his position, effective immediately. Ganduje, a former governor of Kano State, said he made the decision to step down due to health concerns and the need to focus on personal well-being after nearly a decade in high-stakes political leadership. After due consultation with my family and close associates, I have decided to step aside from my role as APC National Chairman to focus on my health and recovery, he said in a statement on Thursday, 26 of June. Mr. Ganduje took over as APC National Chairman in August 2023 during a period of turbulence for the ruling party, following disputes that arose after the 2023 general elections. Seen as a strategic figure to pacify northern blocs within the party, his appointment aimed to restore internal balance. During his tenure as Kano State Governor from 2015 to 2023, Ganduje oversaw a series of infrastructure projects and policy reforms, but his record was often overshadowed by allegations of corruption. Many people inside the party were unhappy with how Ganduje was running things. Factions within the APC felt left out and believed he wasn't doing enough to unite the party. His leadership style caused tension. Ganduje has faced corruption allegations since his time as governor of Kano State, especially after videos in 2018 showed him allegedly taking bribes. Even though he denied it, the controversy followed him into his national role and became a burden for the APC's public image. There were quiet moves from within President Bola Tinubu's political camp. Some powerful insiders reportedly wanted Ganduje out so they could bring in someone more aligned with Tinubu's plans ahead of the next elections. Ganduje's resignation might also be about reshuffling power in the north. He comes from Kano, a key northern state, and his exit could make space for a new northern leader with fewer controversies. While some expressed sympathy and appreciation for his service, others hinted that the resignation was overdue. Senator Abdullahi, Ganduje's predecessor, noted, "Leadership is never easy, especially in a party as large and diverse as ours. I wish him well in his recovery." A prominent member of the APC National Working Committee, NWC, speaking anonymously, suggested Ganduje's exit may open the door for party reform. This is an opportunity to rebuild trust within the party and prepare for the next election cycle with fresh leadership. Meanwhile, APC youth groups have called for a more inclusive and consultative process in selecting the next chairman. Opposition parties were quick to respond, some welcoming the development, while others used the moment to highlight what they see as deeper problems within the ruling party. PDP National Publicity Secretary Daber Olugun Argbar stated, "Ganduje's resignation is symptomatic of a party in decline. The APC has failed to deliver on its promises and is now unraveling under its own weight." Labour Party's presidential candidate in 2023, Peter Obi, refrained from commenting directly on Ganduje but called on all political parties to prioritize internal democracy and ethical leadership. Implications for Nigerian politics. Ganduje's resignation introduces a period of uncertainty for the APC at a time when the party is attempting to rebrand and distance itself from internal crises and public discontent over economic and security challenges in Nigeria. Political analysts warn that failure to quickly and transparently manage the leadership transition could deepen fractures within the party, especially with crucial off-cycle gubernatorial elections approaching in states like Edo and Ondo. Dr. Kemi Oyediran, a political science lecturer at the University of Lagos, said, "This moment could be pivotal. Either the APC uses it to re-establish internal cohesion, or the divisions will widen ahead of 2027. What's next for the APC? The APC now needs a new chairman, likely someone who can calm internal disputes and help the party prepare for future elections. The APC is expected to convene an Emergency National Executive Council, NEC, meeting in the coming days to determine the next steps, including the appointment of an interim national chairman." President Tinubu refused to sign the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) Amendment Bill 2025. The amendment is to allow the NDLEA to directly retain and use a portion of proceeds seized from drug-related crimes, rather than distributing these funds through the existing government system. One will wonder, why would a president block an anti-drug law? Nigeria is facing a real drug crisis. Young people are hooked on tramadol, codeine, and skunk. The NDLEA is fighting back, but they're underfunded, overworked, and often outgunned. To help them, lawmakers passed a bill that would let the NDLEA keep part of the money and property they seize from drug traffickers, so they can use it for operations, training, and equipment. It looked like a win, but then the president refused to sign it. That's where people started asking, why would a president stop a bill that strengthens the fight against drug abuse? He said it was about the Constitution, that all seized funds must go into a central account first, and agencies can't spend money directly without checks and approvals. Now the president's reason makes sense on paper. It's about following the Constitution. But that hasn't stopped Nigerians from asking, is this just legal caution? Or is it the shadow of a past many believe hasn't been fully explained? Because President Tinubu's name has been linked to a decades-old U.S. civil case involving drug money. He wasn't convicted, but he did forfeit $460,000 to U.S. authorities in a case tied to heroin trafficking in Chicago. So now people are connecting the dots. Could this bill have given NDLEA more power to investigate drug money trails, even past ones? Was the refusal really about legal process? Or protecting old secrets? Why would the president of a country block a bill aimed at strengthening the fight against drug trafficking? The bill was meant to empower the NDLEA, a frontline agency battling one of Nigeria's deadliest epidemics. His key reasoning was that the bill's provision allowing the NDLEA to directly retain a share of proceeds from drug-related crimes would conflict with Nigeria's existing constitutional and financial framework. Tinubu cited Section 58(4) of Nigeria's 1999 constitution, which mandates that all proceeds from criminal activities must be paid into the confiscated and forfeited properties account. Any withdrawals from this fund must be authorized by the president and approved by both the Federal Executive Council (FEC) and the National Assembly. Granting the NDLEA independent control over these funds would bypass this accountability and oversight system. In his letter, he argued that this existing system ensures accountability and oversight, and that there is no compelling reason to alter it. Tinubu cited the Constitution as the reason for refusing to sign a bill that would allow law enforcement agencies to retain and spend recovered criminal assets directly. However, when it came to the political crisis in Rivers State, his approach was far less rigid. In Rivers State, a bitter power struggle erupted between Governor Siminalgi Fubara and his predecessor, Wike, who is now the minister of the FCT. What started as internal disagreements quickly escalated. 27 lawmakers, allegedly loyal to Wike, defected from the PDP to the APC, a move that should have cost them their seats under the Constitution, Section 109(1)(g). The Assembly attempted to impeach Governor Fubara, leading to a near-total breakdown of trust between the executive and legislative arms. Tinubu stepped in and brokered a political peace deal, but rather than resolve the matter strictly according to the Constitution, Tinubu's solution was seen by many as a political compromise, one that kept the defected lawmakers in place and seemingly reinforced Wike's influence. Tinubu stood firmly on constitutional grounds in rejecting the bill, but he disregarded the constitutional rules in politically sensitive state matters, like Rivers State. Is the Constitution being applied selectively? Upholding the Constitution shouldn't be selective. It should apply equally to federal and state issues. And in both legal and political contexts, Tinubu's role as president comes with the duty to defend the Constitution impartially, not just when it aligns with his administration's goals. Is this legal caution or the shadow of a buried past? Either way, the fight against drugs remains on pause. President Bola Tinubu stood at the podium in the presidential villa. Flanked by lawmakers, governors, and ministers, the air was thick with tension as he signed the 4 controversial tax reform bills into law. Cameras flashed, capturing the historic moment, but the smiles of some northern governors were strained. For months, the reforms had been a battleground. The Nigeria Tax Bill, Nigeria Tax Administration Bill, Nigeria Revenue Service Establishment Bill, and Joint Revenue Board Establishment Bill had all faced fierce resistance from northern leaders. They argued that the new laws would centralize revenue collection, stripping states of their financial autonomy and disproportionately affecting the agrarian north. Yet Tinubu remained resolute. This is not about regions, he declared. This is about progress. A stronger, unified tax system will attract investment, grow our economy, and benefit all Nigerians. In Kaduna, Governor Dikko Rada convened an emergency meeting with his counterparts from Kano, Sokoto, and Niger. This law will cripple us, he said, slamming his fist on the table. Our people rely on agriculture. These reforms will impose heavy taxes on our farmers while giving federal agencies unchecked power to collect revenues that should be ours. Protests erupted in major northern cities. Youth groups backed by influential emirs marched with placards reading, "No to economic marginalization," and "Northern wealth for northern people." Meanwhile, in Lagos and Port Harcourt, business leaders celebrated. The reforms promised streamlined tax processes, reduced double taxation, and incentives for foreign investors. "This is the boost Nigeria needs," said billionaire industrialist Femi Erdodala in a televised interview. Rumors spread that the reforms were a deliberate move to weaken the North's economic influence. Conspiracy theories flourished on social media, with some alleging that Tinubu was rewarding his southern allies while punishing the North for not supporting him in the last election. Senator Ali Ndumi, a vocal critic, took to the floor of the National Assembly. "This law is a Trojan horse," he warned, under the guise of reform. "It is stripping the North of its resources. We will not accept it." But Finance Minister Wali Ejun dismissed the claims. "This is about transparency and efficiency. The old system was broken. Some states collected little to no taxes despite vast resources. Now everyone will pay their fair share." The northern governors filed a lawsuit at the Supreme Court, seeking to nullify the laws. They argued that the reforms violated fiscal federalism as enshrined in the Constitution. As the legal battle raged, investors hesitated. The stock market dipped and the naira wobbled. International media speculated, is Nigeria on the brink of another regional crisis? Behind closed doors, Tinubu met with the northern governors. "Let us not be enemies," he urged. "If there are genuine concerns, we will address them, but we cannot afford to reject progress because of fear." Some governors softened, but others remained defiant. Would the reforms ultimately deliver prosperity as promised, or would they deepen Nigeria's regional divides? The answer lay not just in the laws themselves, but in how leaders chose to govern, whether they would unite the nation or exploit its fractures for political gain. That's it for now, but I will be back with more updates as the story develops. If you found this report helpful, don't forget to like, share, and comment with your thoughts. Subscribe and follow to stay updated on all the latest news. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.